And you know what? I have to talk to her on the 28th day, and I'm not going to eat this cupcake because I know it would throw me off my goals. And that's the beauty of having a coach and a confidant a confidant and a counselor to be there to support you so that you can have the greatest amount of success in the least amount of time. Sometimes we can box ourselves in, and we need somebody to show us the way out. And so sometimes we can be like fleas in a jar. We restrict ourselves to only what we're accustomed to. We never try to go higher than what we already attempted. We figure what's the use. I can't go any further. What I love about coaches is that they push you to go further than you've ever gone before. And the reason is because I believe in you. I believe that you have what it takes. I believe that you have the power within you to shift your life in a direction that you want to go to be your best possible person. And so that's the thing I love about coaching, and that is I could see the greatest and highest potential in you that you may not even be able to see in yourself. And so I can help you to accomplish those things that you have may already attempted and not seen success. And so with every passing day, you have the opportunity to be better. And what better tool to use than someone to help you to do just that? And so there are times where we know that there are certain things that are good for us. It's the best thing that we could ever do. And sometimes we resist those things for whatever the reason. We have a tendency to resist the good. And for the life of me, the way we were raised and grew up, sometimes we gravitate toward things that are not good for us. Like, for example, if we grew up with poor eating habits, we will not want the good things. Matter of fact, unfortunately, the good things don't even taste good to us. Sometimes people don't like vegetables or fruits because they're so used to eating candy and sugar. And I once had an experiment with a group of a club that I started, a new wealth club, to help people understand that their health is the new wealth. And I put on the table a cup of things for people to experiment with to begin to reintroduce natural products back into their lives. And I put a cup of coconut water on the table for each and every one to taste, because coconut water has so many nutrients in it and electrolytes in it that really helps us to function and operate better and have a better capacity for it to be energized. And one person drank the coconut water and said it tasted nasty. Now, here's what's very sad. She could drink a can of soda and thought that was great. But we have to see where sometimes our habits are not healthy for us. And we need someone to help us with that. So we resist the natural process of renewal. And we see that process sometimes as a luxury rather than a necessity. And the good news is it's never too late. And so we can reposition our lives to make old things feel like new again. And all we have to do is activate the power that we have within us to renew our lives. All we have to do is look around to appreciate this ideal. We see nature in every season, with summer and spring. We see the plants renew themselves. We see animals shed their fur and skin, and nature has within it the wisdom to know when to replenish itself, when to renew itself. There are numerous plants and trees and animals that display this natural phenomenon. Self-renewal is critical to us. It's critical for you to continue to move forward, to be successful, to be productive, and to live a meaningful and fulfilling life. You need renewal. This process of renewal is a necessity, and there are numerous opportunities that you can find to be refreshed in a multitude of ways. And so there are opportunities for renewal anytime, anywhere, every day that you live. We simply need to recognize those moments as valuable, and we need to incorporate them into our lives. And so although it sounds good, it sounds really good, sometimes we want to keep things the way they are for as long as possible, and we get lulled into a false sense of security even though we know that we're unfulfilled. And oftentimes it takes a cataclysmic power to pry us out of a place, a comfort zone of contentment. Sometimes it takes a crisis to be the opportunity for us to see life from a different vantage point. And it's at these times that we can experience life on a deeper level. Crisis hits and we know that we need to change. If we ignore this opportunity, we can get stuck in a rut and not even know how we got there. And so sometimes we wait until we are totally burnt out, like I did, before we realize that we need rest, we need renewal, and we need change. And sometimes crisis hits, and that's what is the awakening for us, that moment that awakens us. We may feel a chest pain or stomach ache that won't go away, or we have trouble walking, or aches and pains and headaches and anger and outbursts. These are signs that something is terribly wrong and we cannot ignore them. And this crisis moment is merely the tip of the iceberg. There's a quality of depth that's often missed in life when we seek to maintain that status quo, and life becomes stale and uninteresting, and we become more and more or less and less effective and more dissatisfied with our lives, and our daily routine and daily dealings and activities become meaningless. And this is the first major sign that a renewal process is long overdue. Personal crisis is our announcement that things need to change in our lives. And it's during this crisis that our body and our mind and our spirits scream all at the same time. It's time to change. It's time to shift. And you don't want to ignore this. Because during these times, it's an opportunity for us to see life in a whole new way. And we don't have to wait for that. We can just voluntarily decide, today is the day I'm going to shift my life. I'm going to change my behaviors so that I can see the renewal. I can see the refreshing. I can see all of the things that I want to see in my life. And I can see it happening today. And you don't want to ignore the signs. Because when you ignore the signs, you set yourself up for future disaster. And there isn't anything that could change that after we ignore it for too long. For example, if you're experiencing pain in your chest and you ignore that, eventually you may wind up having a heart attack or a stroke. Well, you got the warning signs. And now you're at the point of disaster. There's no turning back. And if you have a headache, why are you still working? I once heard a story about a man who was working so hard, and it was a big project, and he started to get a headache, and then he started to get chest pains, and then he couldn't feel his left side, and he kept working. How crazy is that? All the work in the world now will not restore him back to his rightful state. And he said to himself, I knew I should have stopped. I just wanted to finish the project. Now, as crazy as that sounds, it happens every single day. We need to set the proper priorities so we can optimize our output and the outcomes, and we can operate at the top of our game so that we can be top performers. We can build our lives around habits that help us to be the absolute best representation of who we are. So these warning signs now can manifest as physical ailments, or they can manifest as catastrophes. And we don't necessarily have to allow it to happen that way. We can learn to get in touch with our deeper selves. We can learn to get in touch with ourselves on a deeper level. We can learn to sense very clearly the warning signs and do the things that we need to do in order to get to where we need to go. We should always be on the lookout for opportunities to experience life in a totally new way, and accept the fact that you don't have all the answers that you need. You need someone to help guide you and to show you the way. And so it is up to you to seek out opportunities to renew your body, to renew your soul, to renew your spirit. And we should always be in search of information that will improve our lives. Be on the lookout for a new recipe or a new place to go. Seek out materials to expand and broaden your thinking. Strengthen your spirit with uplifting messages and uplifting songs. In other words, never get comfortable where you are and let life pass you by. But we know that it's really not that simple, and I know that, and I understand that. It's just not that simple, especially if you're in a bad place right now. If you got off to a bad start this year, I want to challenge you to be your best possible person every single day. And the first step is to be willing to acknowledge your shortcomings, be willing to acknowledge the areas that you know you need to work on. And I'm here for you. I'm with you. You don't have to do it alone. But in order for you to renew your life and to see transformation, the first step is to acknowledge your shortcomings. And this is the first step in successfully learning new behaviors. I need to learn how to eat better. I need to learn how to exercise. I need to learn how to cook better foods for myself. These are all part of the learning process. And I want to tell you, I really am amazed at how well things have gone for me in terms of my eating habits and my work habits, and I make every effort to adjust my life so that I can have healthier habits, so I can be a top producer, and so I can help as many people as possible, just like you. And I remember where I just didn't feel like cooking. And it just became such a drudgery to me because I was tired, I was burnt out, and I just didn't want to do the same old rigmarole anymore, and the food I was eating just wasn't good for me, and I just felt like I didn't want to cook anymore. Well, I want you to know I've experienced an absolute total turnaround in my life. I can't wait to get to the kitchen to cook healthy foods, and I buy healthy foods, and I cook healthy foods, and I eat healthy foods, and I feel energized, I feel alive, I'm at the top of my game, and I feel the best that I have ever felt in my entire life since the day I was born. And so I want to transfer that excitement and that energy onto you so that you can feel that and more. And finally, I want to encourage you to always be willing to try something new. If you want something new, you have to do something new. And you never know, that new idea, that new person, that new place, that new thing may help you improve your life dramatically and look at life in an entirely new way. I want to encourage you, find a spa or a local health club. Go out to the gym and work out all that stress that's built up over the day, of the course of your day, and all of the stress that you've been experiencing in your life. Get a massage on a regular basis. I give you permission to get at least a monthly massage, not just for special occasions, but to work out all of the stress that gets built up in your life. Go to a place of worship. Get an inspiring and encouraging word. Do not try to do this alone. Seek a therapist for help if you need it. Seek a coach for help. I'm here to help you. There are so many places that you can go to get the help you need. Help is on the way. You are not alone. And I want you to know that on this road to your renewal, if you use the techniques that I described to you today, you will be able to see dramatic change and dramatic transformation in your life. I really enjoy spending time with you and sharing these experiences with you to transform your life. And what you've learned today will help you to move forward on your journey to totally transform your life. Be sure to contact me for a free discovery session and other powerful resources at totallifetransformation.net. And be sure to use your Destination Transformation Workbook to chart your progress. I want you to know I care about you, and I want you to go further than you've ever gone before. And I want to continue this journey with you. And our next turn on the road to totally transform your life is the road to your reinvention. Until then, this is Dr. LaVerne, and this is Destination Transformation, your navigational roadmap to a totally fulfilling, pretty amazing, completely rewarding dream life.